Good morning, everyone, and welcome to yet another Mornings with Sue show. Today, I will talk about pet sitting softwares. A lot of you guys who are already longer in the business are already using pet sitting software because it's so vital for the business. But there are a lot of other a lot of you guys that are just literally just starting out or more active on Rover and Wag and are relying on their software to schedule services that don't have that pet sitting software yet. And in fact, you might not even have your own pet sitting business or dog walking business yet, which is completely fine. But of course, it's good to get the information on what to get once you actually start your own dog walking business, because I personally think you should definitely build that on the side. Even if you are a successful Rover and Wag sitter, why not, right? So I am I'm actually waiting also for the Thetford dog walker to see if she has any questions, because that was her question. But I will see once she joins. Hopefully she will, so she can ask any questions. Also, if anybody else has questions, please just ask away. I can see if anything moves, especially on Instagram. All right, so who should get a pet sitting software? Anybody who actually has their own dog walking business and decides to go out on their own should have a pet sitting software. So dog walking business or cat sitting business or pet sitting business, whatever it is. Actually, anybody who has a pet business should get their own software to help with scheduling and everything. Anybody also who wants to build a professional foundation from the get-go, who wants to be organized, and with all of that wants to be confident whenever they're going to a client or whenever a client comes to them. Also, whoever plans on scaling their business. And I would always recommend, even if you might not think so, and you might think you stay solo for forever, if you just keep listening to me, you will not you will not stay solo. I'm sorry. You will not stay solo for forever. I promise you, because I will definitely push you to hire employees. So anybody who really just wants to build a real business. So pet sitting software, what does it all? It does really build out three important things for your business. It's organization, it's clients, and it's also great for marketing. So for the organization part, what a pet sitting software does is you can record all visits on the pet sitting software. So all the visits go on there. You can have clients come in and book the visits, or you can book them. Anything with visits can be done. So you don't need a Google Calendar. You don't need a calendar where you just pencil in visits, which is like the worst type of organization, unfortunately. You can have all the pet profiles. So right now, when you take in clients with an intake form or with a client with a pet questionnaire form, you and you ask all these questions. What does your dog eat? How's the personality of the dog? When would you like a walk? Does the dog or the cat likes to play with any toys? What kind of recalls does he listen to? And so all of those questions are being answered in the software, ideally by the client. So you don't have to stay there during the meet and greet and just wait for the client to fill out the questionnaire, which we actually did in the beginning, and it was painful because it was literally taking 30 minutes, even though the client was maybe, like really fast. But we were, because it's kind of like that awkward moment, like they're filling it out, and then you're still kind of talking to them, and then it just takes longer, and then you're playing with the dog. But if the dog doesn't want to play, you kind of just stand there, or the cat doesn't want to really play. So all of this gets completely eliminated. Also, if you're collecting any keys to the dog owner's home or the cat owner's home, you can organize them in there, because you will have tags on the keys, tags with numbers on the keys, and you can organize it through the software and attach those tags, those numbers to the client's information in the profile. You can, once you have employees, of course, you can assign certain employees or independent contractors. You can assign them to visits. And what is very, 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 very important, what's not so much talked about with pet sitting software, I feel, you need a plan to where your business is going. And once you have that plan, that's great. That's awesome. But if you're just jotting down your visits on paper or on your Google Calendar, you won't have any sort of information on how many, like let's say dog boarding visits you do, on how many dog walking visits you do, how many 15 minutes, how many 30-minute dog visits you do, how many cat sitting visits you do. You don't really have a record of which kind of services you're doing how many times and how much money does it actually bring in. So because what I recommend doing, once you actually are in business already for a few years or for a year, and you're doing a certain service and you want to discontinue the service, to actually look back and see what's the percentage of that service. So like, let's say cat sitting, if you're only doing 20% of cat sitting of all your services, then you might want to discontinue it if you don't like it anyway. So this is a great way for you to be organized in your business and actually really follow through with your plan, or come up with a plan to make things better, or come up even with a better pricing strategy. So a pet sitting software records everything, and therefore you can make really informed decision as a business owner. Another thing is clients. So the customer service and great communication can be done through the pet sitting software, because first of all, as I already said, you are onboarding the client. You can literally just send them in the welcome email a link to the pet sitting software, and they can just fill out everything, including booking visits. And then you literally just have to generate the invoice and send out the invoice or charge their card. So it's as easy as that. And that's beautiful because it also saves you time. It saves you a huge amount of time not to have to generate an invoice via PayPal or whatever software it is. You want to have it as connected as possible, really. And you can also send emails through the pet sitting software, so you don't have to go through your email, which is nice, really, in a way, because then if you have some kind of mass communication, like let's say it's winter and you have a snow day and you want to let all the clients know, or it's really, really warm outside, it's scorching hot, and you have decided not to cut down walks, to cut down the duration of the walks because it's just too hot for the dogs, or have any other communication you wish to send to all of your clients or to a select amount of clients, you can just really select to who the communication goes to and you can send it out. Also, you can do it with employees. So once you have employees, you can also send a mass email to your employees. So what else can you do? You can, very important thing too, of course, once you are done with your visit, because still a lot of pet sitters and dog walkers, I hear it, they're leaving a note after their visit, filled out, handwritten, for the pet owner once they come back home, which you shouldn't do anymore. It's 2019. We actually had a client not so long ago, and they actually switched to us, and they were like, okay, are you going to leave a note? Because our previous pet sitter, dog walker, we couldn't really read their handwriting, but we didn't want to say anything. And we're like, no, we're not doing this. And they were just so happy about that. So it's kind of like, okay, guys, we're 2019. It doesn't cost that much. And it is actually such a minimal cost. It's your smallest cost in your whole business. Believe me. So you can send the journals. You can send it with with all softwares via email, with some softwares even via text. So it's very convenient for the customers, and also the customers actually, if they have anything that they have for the day, like let's say the dog has to stay in a certain room, and they would regularly email you that, especially when you have employees, and then you would have to let your employees know. But in this case, with a pet sitting software, they can actually they can go into the software, go to that particular visit, and leave a note. Like, listen, leave so-and-so in this and this room, or, hey, can you check on this when you go in, or whatever they want to leave. So they can actually leave a note for that particular visit, and the employee gets the walker that's assigned to the visit gets the note, and then also the administrator, so the manager. So that's perfect because everybody's in the loop. I really, really like that part. And also you as a manager, you as a business owner, or whoever your manager is, can go in and leave a note for that particular employee who is assigned to that visit also. So beautiful all around. In regards to marketing, you can brand it with your own colors and with your logo, usually. The one that I really like, you can really do that. I haven't researched a lot of them, but I really have my recommendation, which I will share with you. So you can brand it with your colors and with your logo and with your business name, of course. Opening hours, it all shows up on their website, and you can just easily link it to your website, and it shows up like it's kind of like your website. So it's awesome. And I'm pretty sure most of the pet sitting softwares are able to do that. It looks, of course, professional. I've already said that. It's not, it is professional, but it also looks professional, which is sometimes even almost more important than the other way around, because whatever people perceive, that's what they believe. And yes, and of course, it's also a marketing tool saying, hey, client, you can go into the pet sitting software 24/7 and you can book your own visit, you can cancel visits, you can update the pet information, you can update your card information, you can literally do everything, and we'll come. So whenever you look for pet sitting software, make sure to look for following things. First of all, make sure that they have some kind of support group. I personally prefer really a Facebook support group where you can just drop in and ask questions if anything is unclear, or if you have questions using that software. Also, you might as well, when you test certain softwares, just become members of the support groups and see what people are saying. And of course, you want to have it GPS enabled. If you are in a urban area, that's awesome. Then you can really track it throughout your walk. I'm not so sure if you want that. That's something you have to decide. If you want your clients to see exactly where you're going, I do have it where there's a GPS timestamp. That's also completely enough for me with my employees. So whenever they log in, the time shows, the location shows, and whenever they log out, the time shows and the location shows, which is also great in case there's in case a client says like, hey, the pet sitter, the dog walker wasn't there. I'm like, and I'm showing, no, listen, they were there. That's the proof. So GPS enabled is definitely a must nowadays. And of course, that they take credit, debit card payment, PayPal payment, but pretty much all of them do that. But just make sure they're doing that, because you really don't want to live in the age of checks and cash anymore, right? You want to be able to charge beforehand, and that's able and that's easily done with accepting credit card and debit card payment or PayPal. And also, you want to check whenever you are checking for their prices, for their rates, check if they're charging per visit. Some are actually charging that you have to pay per visit, and some are doing per user. And mostly, I think it's not per user, because the per visit was pretty steep. Once you're actually really successful, they might be great if you're only doing, I don't know, like 100 visit or whatever visits a month. But once you're actually successful and you're building your business, it's not going to be sustainable. So make sure you are actually really planning for success. So plan for when you're making really like thousand visits a month or something. So really plan for you becoming big. Don't be afraid to do that. And then there are other ones that are mostly charging for, like, solo solo walkers, and then they usually charge for like 1 to 5 walkers, and 6 to 10 and so on. So just make sure you really calculate it out a little bit, because once you are using one pet sitting software, if you have decided on them and you have been using them for a while, and then you actually really start growing and you really get all these employees on, it's kind of tough to switch. It's a huge headache. So try to be sure on which pet sitting software you really like and which one will grow with you. And how to do that is I recommend looking for just like pet sitting softwares and trying out 3 of them. I actually tried out, and most of them offer a trial. I tried out PetSit Click in the beginning, Pet Sitter Plus, and Precise Pet Care. and I did on all of them a trial. And it was very time consuming, but it's actually an investment in your business. So even if it takes like 2-3 months, especially when you're in the beginning now, I would seriously take that time to actually do that and do that research, because now you still have time and you're not really bogged up with everything else. So make sure you do the trial period. And I personally recommend, but you don't have to do that, of course. I just recommend Precise Pet Care. So I'm just going to write this in here, and I'm going to write it on Facebook later. Precise Pet Care. So they have been really, really good. They're really supportive. And they're constantly changing too. So you want to also make sure that the pet sitting software you're using is very responsive to any kind of recommendations that the users have. So can you add this, or can you modify this, or this doesn't make sense? So you want to make sure they are very responsive to that as well, just like you as a business are, right? If a client comes to you and they would like to have something changed, or something's not really going well in your business and they're pointing it out to you, they're kind of expecting you to take their concern serious. So Precise Pet Care starts at $15 a solo walker per month, which is very affordable. So with just one walk, which you definitely should charge minimum $15 per walk, you have that software back. So just see it like that. And then once you actually get more employees, it goes up to a 30, 45 and stuff. I think for up to 5 walkers, I believe it was like 45 or something like that, $45, which is not much, I believe. I'm not 1% sure. So anyway, I hope that helped. Laura, if you have any other questions, just let me know. And I will leave it at that for today. So the pet sitting software is really, really important. It's just the foundation of your business. You have to see too, you cannot just grow something really successfully without investing in yourself and in your business. It's just the way it goes. You can't just do you can't just bootstrap everything. You don't have to do it. Like, there are a lot of coaches recommending a lot of products, which I don't agree with, but the pet sitting software is definitely a product I'm 100% standing behind. So I hope that helped. I wish you guys a wonderful day. And I will see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow a little bit earlier. I'm going to go live tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., not at 9 a.m., but at 8:30 p.m. It's an exception, but 8:30 p.m. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning with Sue. Make sure you join, and we'll go from there. You have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for joining. Bye, guys.